Hi, so I'm back with a musical message, but this time I want you to choose. So I'm going to have two album covers up above me. Take your time, don't overthink it. Just pick which one grabs your attention the most, which one you feel the most drawn to, and pause for the timestamps. And let's get straight into the reading, shall we? Also, I forgot to mention, I do readings on live stream and I offer private readings. Just check out the link in my bio. Starting with the first song titled Superhero and looking at the artwork, I immediately just felt like some of us may be looking for a superhero subconsciously, either in the government, either in family, friends, loved ones, and the real superhero is us. But maybe some of us are tired of being our own hero, but I feel like there's a lot of power in that, and it doesn't have to be lonely. Heroes work with other heroes in movies and such, but in what ways are you neglecting your own superhero abilities? In what ways are you giving your power away and saying you can't save yourself, someone else has to come save you? So let's pull a card. But yeah, in what ways are we neglecting our own superhero abilities, are becoming more aware of the ways that we can save ourselves? And also help save the world by, you know, getting in tune with our purpose and our, which, you got to get in tune with yourself. Okay, so the card that we got coming out, stand up and be recognized. Behold, you are the inspiration you've been looking for. So a lot of times we look outside of ourselves for inspiration. We look outside of ourselves for that validation, but the kingdom of God lives within. And whether you're religious or not, and however you interpret God, whether you call it the universe, whatever name you give it, it's within you. And it's time for you to recognize this quality within yourself. And also, maybe some of you that picked this pile or this, this reading are very critical of the world around you. And I relate because I be looking at people around me like, oh my God, y'all are not making the world a better place. But also, how can you alchemize that anger and critique into you being the solution, into you being getting passionate about your purpose on this planet, so you can be the change that you want to see, instead of critiquing every other person for not being the change you want to see, when you could be that, inspiration for yourself. I also feel like sometimes we don't see that on the other side of our triggers, which is just a fancy way to say the things that get you out of character, the things that make you feel disempowered, the things that that can affect your mood and your focus and your energy drastically. On the other side of those triggers is your superpower. So let's say you're very sensitive to, people, just people's energies around you. You feel overwhelmed when you go to social events. Maybe on the other side of that, what that perceived weakness is your actual strength. And what I mean is, you're perceiving it as a weakness. Oh, I'm so sensitive to all these energies, and when I go out, I just get overwhelmed. But honestly, that could be an opportunity for you to, one, become the true master of your energy, where you create a force field around yourself that emits loving and empowering energy, but doesn't let in any energy that doesn't belong to you or is not going to empower you towards your purpose. And if you're so sensitive to these energies, maybe that's a gift. Maybe your gift is your empathy and how sensitive you are, and you can get more disciplined with that skill. Okay, so let's pull another card to see what the best use of your energy is for this pile. Three of Cups, abundance. So really don't view your emotions as something to fix, but view them as something as tools, and don't use them as identifiers. You are not your emotions, you are the consciousness experiencing them. And the more you learn to work with them, the more abundant you will be. The more you stop running away from getting your feelings hurt, and you stop running away from rejection, or start running away from uncomfortable situations, the more abundance is coming your way, because sometimes that resistance is a sign that this is a fear of mine. I need to face this fear. So take it how it resonates. Trust your own spiritual discernment. If you resonated with this reading, please leave a comment below or share it with someone that you think it might help. And yeah, just to summarize, stand up and be recognized. Be your own inspiration. Find inspiration in the world around you, of course, but don't think that it has to be outside of you. Pile two, what's good? Let's get into it. So, your song was Flowering. Flowering. And I feel like I thought of the word blossoming at first, but I was like, what's the difference between flowering and blossoming? I think that this pile is honestly learning how not to be afraid of the light, how not to be afraid of good things, because maybe you guys experienced a lot of disappointment. It feels like you're slowly starting to open up to good things happening. And it's a process because you've had a habit of closing yourself off, the opposite of blossoming, and closing those little leafy petals down and not sharing your beauty, because you may feel like people don't deserve it, or maybe people have taken advantage of you, and it's very vulnerable for you to like just be in the light or just to receive light, because some people may have gave you that impression at first, but then along the way, you know, it turned out that, okay, I just need to be in my own space. So me time, you're very aware of your own company at this point, and you're realizing that you don't need to be so closed off out of fear. You can be selective about who you're around. However, you're realizing that the more you open up to yourself and what you expect yourself to receive and what you expect from yourself, the more you attract relationships that affect your relationship with yourself. Does that make sense? So it's like maybe y'all have had a fear of being in the light, being the center of attention in the room. However, it resonates for you. But now you're realizing that regardless of if people don't understand it, regardless if people aren't giving me reciprocal energy, side note, you will move accordingly, okay? Because you know how to not entertain people that aren't giving you reciprocal energy. That you have the power ultimately. You don't want to give your power away and say, oh, because of what other people done to me, now I'm like this, now I'm closed off, because you realize, or maybe you're not realizing, but you're coming into awareness now that subconsciously that's affecting your you time. When you're alone, you still feel like closed off, and you'll have aspirations to do things, but you'll quickly talk yourself out of it because you got hurt last time, or maybe you let yourself down, maybe you didn't keep a promise to yourself, whatever the case may be. Using this me time to open up to yourself, to think of ways you can blossom, maybe blossom some ideas. Maybe there are ideas that you haven't brought to life yet. Maybe it's time to bring them to light and not be scared of everybody looking at you, or being scared of yourself not following through for yourself, because you've gained so much wisdom since the last time you let yourself down. Trust yourself to improve yourself. Oh my gosh. Um, yeah, it's like, and even the second song on after the first song, Blooming, is heliophobia, which means a fear of the sun. So don't be afraid of the sun. Don't be afraid of attention. Don't be afraid of light. Okay, Ace of Cups, don't be afraid of your emotions, okay? Show how you feel to the world. Be vulnerable. And whoever gets it, gets it. Whoever is not reciprocal, you will move accordingly. And you trust yourself to make the wise decision to only entertain relationships that are worth your time, okay? And pour into yourself, and trust yourself with your emotional nature. You'll alchemize it. You'll figure out a way to use it to your purpose on this planet. So that's your reading. I hope that helped. I also do live readings, like I said, on the stream and offline in private. Check my link in bio. Thanks for watching. Comment if it resonated.